back in the woods.
Okay, so I'm down here by the creek and I've got a deer hide down here, and this deer hide has been soaking in a weak solution of walnut hulls and fire ashes. Okay, the fire ashes have lye in them, which makes the hair slip. The tannic acid just helps preserve the hide over time. But you can see now what I've got, this hair just pushes right out. And if I just use a rock, not even a sharp rock, you can see that hair just comes off in chunks. And that's what I want. Because now what I have is, I have a piece of deer hide that I can use as rawhide, or I can tan it either way. But if I use it for rawhide, this stuff is just like nature's Kydex. And that's my plan, is to get this scraped off, get it stretched out between a couple trees, and let it dry out. And then I'll have a piece of rawhide I can use to mold knife sheaths with, make soles for boots or moccasins if I need to. I can also make envelopes and things with this. I can make containers with this. My plan is to make a shot bag out of this that will hold, a shot snake rather, that will hold shot for my 12 gauge or for my flintlock. So let's get this all scraped off, and you can see this hair is just coming off in chunks now. Okay, now this hair would be good to make fishing lures and things like that out of, no doubt. It would be good insulation. If you collected up this hair, it would make good insulation in a mattress or a pillow. So there's uses for this hair. I'm discarding it at this point, but I've got piles of it. So there are uses for it. I want you to realize that. But right now what I'm after is just the rawhide itself. And I'm just bearing down into the sand on this thing to scrape the hair off of it. You can see it coming right off. This rock's not even sharp. It's just a flat rock. Doesn't require any sharp tools to do this once you've soaked this hair. Now what we got to do is we got to get this hide strung up. The easy way to do that is just get yourself multiple strings cut like this, and then just find sticks on the ground that you can use that aren't going to break for toggles, like that. And you can toggle that right through a hole in the hide, and I'll show you how that works real quick here. Once you cut a hole in it, then you can just put that toggle through there, put your string through there, pull your toggle tight, just like that, and then you can figure out how high you need to hang it. And start with your first one, stretch it across after that. So we'll start with this first one and we'll tie it kind of loose on the tree so that we can pull it to the other side. So I won't tie this one real tight. I'll make it so I can adjust it. Get my string looped in half and put it in there. Shove that through the hole with my toggle, just like that. Pull the toggle tight, and I can move this up the tree where I need it. Pull tight against it like this. Now the best thing to do is to take and almost make a trucker's hitch in this one, where you can just fold over, tie a loop in there that you can draw against, just like this. Oop. Get yourself a loop tied in there that you can come around the tree on. Put it inside there and draw against that loop as high as you need it and stretch it out tight. Make sure that your toggle is turned in a direction that's not going to come out. When you do that, like that, and then draw it tight. Make sure your toggle's turned sideways. There we go. Just like that. Again, we want to make sure we can get these undone, so we're not going to get too excited with our knot. Okay, now we just got to do the same thing. Stretch that thing out all the way around. We'll be in business. Okay, so now we've got our rawhide stretched out here. You can see our toggles pulling against it here. That's the only thing that's important, is that your toggles aren't going to slip, because as this dries, it'll shrink. So you just want to double check all your toggles and make sure that they're turned so they're not going to slip out. And then you just need to let it sit there and dry, and it will become rawhide. You can see this one's got a lot of staining on it from being in that walnut solution. So it's got a lot of stains in it, and I like that. It just makes it look more rustic that way. It makes it look more primitively done that way. So we made the hair slip. We scraped the hair off. It's still got a few pieces of hair on it here and there. Those will all come off. It's not a big deal. Now I just want to let this thing dry out, and then I can do anything with it, from cutting strips of it to make lacing with and wetting that, and that rawhide will become lace. I can take this rawhide, actually I could cut pieces off this rawhide and I could soak it in water and I could boil it down and I could make hide glue with it. So I could make a glue with this as well once it's dried out. If I wanted to heat it back up, I can, you know, like I said, I can make a multitude of things with this. It's like nature's Kydex. But the fact of the matter is, you know, a big piece of rawhide like this is a great resource. So just something else that you can do with a hide if you happen to come across one, or if you have one. And, you know, while it's not good to eat meat that you don't know how it died, you know, if you come across a carcass somewhere, doesn't stink too bad, and you can get the hide off of it, that's a great resource. Even if it's a roadkill or something that you find out in the woods dead, maybe a hunter shot it and didn't find it, whatever the case may be, you might not want to eat the meat, but you can always use the hide. I appreciate you guys joining me for this short segment on, you know, processing some rawhide, and we'll talk more about this as this thing dries out and we utilize it. But I wanted to give you just a quick today of, you know, it was in the walnut bath, now it's out, the hair slipped, we scraped the hair off in the creek over here, and now we're stretching it out to dry it out to become rawhide. It's been scraped really well, and now it's just drying out. So I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. I appreciate your support, appreciate your views. I thank you for everything you do for me, my family, my school. I'll be back as soon as I can.